We're here at the Highland Games again, so what does it mean for you to return back here?
I think, post-pandemic, it almost feels like we're getting back to some sort of normal, and such a great vibe about the place, great feel. You can hear the crowd really cheering on the heavies, music behind us, local food and drink. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's been brilliant.
And did you have a good time challenging the Stoltmans earlier?
Not really, no. So they just put me up to that. I didn't know about it. So if I had known, I'd have warmed up, and I think I'd have got past Tom Stoltman's 10 metres.
And is there any highlights of the day that stick out for you?
Wow. Yeah, I just think the feel of the place. Generally listening to the crowd behind me when the heavies are going, you just get a sense of how many people are actually here, because it's a far bigger attendance than we could ever have dreamed of, and everybody's having a good time. So that's what really makes me happy.
The attendance, I mean, you must be really pleased after 2 years of the break. You must have been thinking beforehand, given it's the first one that High Life Highland have looked after as well.
Do you know what, there's always a risk with any of these things, but we knew last night, so we're approaching 3,000 tickets today, online sales, so through 4,500 I think, and we've got thousands of people coming through the gates, so it's far exceeded. We were thinking maybe 3,000, we've doubled it, so it's way beyond our expectations. It's great, Andy.
And the weather's perfect as well, because I mean, you don't want it to be raining obviously, but you see down south there's the heat waves, you didn't want any of that either.
Do you know the only people that have complained are some of the people that are doing the entries? There's a wee funnel, so the cold wind's coming through, so they've had to put their hoodies on. Apart from that, I've spoken to people from Texas, California, Seattle, Europe. They're all having a great day because it's kind of just right, it's not too cold, but it's not too hot, I should say.
You mentioned the popularity with the tourists. I've seen people here from France and Belgium as well. They obviously come to Inverness, but this is an opportunity for them to feel the culture of the area, a bit of the history as well.
Yeah, I think so for our teams here, it's about trying to make people feel like a local for a day, and the most important part of that is that they'll come back, but they'll also tell their friends and families to come, and that's really good for the economy. So we've got to really focus on how we welcome people into the city and to the rest of the Highlands.
You mentioned the economy. We've got a lot of local businesses here today as well. You mentioned the Highland Food Trail before. I guess it's good for everyone.
Yeah, and really important for us to give it a local feel. So traditional music, our local food and drink, and they've been packed all day. So I think next year we need to bring more because the queues have been a wee bit long. So there's always things that you can do better. But it's dead important to make sure that we keep. It's a Highland Games, right? So it needs a Highland feel. So it needs to feel local. So that's part of the sort of principles sitting behind everything we do.
And one of the longest queues today has been the Stoltman tent. People looking for the merchandise, looking for the photos.
The thing about those guys, they're just so good with people. So yeah, they might be big superstars, huge following on YouTube and things, but when it comes down to people, they're just really nice and engaging, great with kids, anybody from any. I particularly like the way they, particularly from Tom's experiences, the way they look after young people that might have some challenges themselves, so much patience. So they've been such a fantastic addition. I hope they come back next year.
Yeah, looking ahead to next year, obviously you'd like to get them back here, but is there any other things that you've sort of learnt today, given it was the first time you guys have really been so close involved in organising it?
Do there's little things, little tweaks. There's nothing really major that I'm good. We haven't organised it. Amy McLeod's organised it, and she's paid a huge amount of attention to detail. So there's nothing huge, but we'll have a follow up. We'll do a lessons exercise, and we'll make sure we come back even better next year.
Yeah, I guess when you've got a formula that works and obviously attracts people, it's just little tweaks around the edges.
Yeah. If it works, then don't fix it, but tweak it and make it better.